Running this 2021 Mercury 99 long shaft 4-stroke. Good customer Chris Hargate said that when he was in his drift boat yesterday, when he put the engine back down, he noticed some like rainbow in the water, like fuel or something like that. And once it started up and give it throttle and gear, it wasn't taking off like it usually does. Before running it like I am right now, I'm using my tank, my hose. I hooked up to it, I pressurized the fuel system. I tilted this engine all the way up like it will, and like they do on the drift boats and everything when they drifting down the river, they have these engines tilted up. Pressurized the fuel system, no fuel leaks whatsoever, no fuel coming out from the carb, no anywhere from the carb, not from the top, not from the bottom, nowhere from the carb. And I fired up the first bowl. I can't obviously put it in gear and throttle up in this tank because it'll shoot water everywhere. And this engine's too long and too heavy for me to put my test tank out there to rev it up in gear under a load. So I mean, the engine's running perfectly fine. I have it on throttle only right now, so I give it throttle without it shifting. I mean, it's throttling up perfectly fine like that. Like I said, in gear, put it in reverse. If I give it any throttle in gear, it's going to shoot water all in my shop, and I don't want that. Drift boats are weird. They're like a banana shape pretty much. I just put it back in neutral. And these outboards that they use on the drift boats are at a super weird angle too, because most of the time the drift boat transom is like that. And so these engines are at a weird angle and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's just what it is. But this engine's running perfectly fine. No hesitation when giving it throttle. Starts right back up after I turn it off, even though they want you to pull the choke out halfway after it's warmed up. They want you to, so you got two positions on your choke. You got that first click right there, and then your secondary, but it wants you to pull it out for the first notch or whatever to start it up even after it's warmed up, and then push it back in after it's started. That's the oil pressure light. When you first start the engine, that light will come on red until it builds oil pressure, and then it'll go away. Like that. But yeah, I'm not having any issues with it. I'm not seeing any issues with it. Everything's working perfectly fine. No fuel coming out of it from anywhere. I am gonna make sure to tell him, because these engines, if laid on its side, should be transported that way, but if they have it tilted up all the way, that side should also be facing up, so that oil doesn't go back into the carb or intake or cylinders or anything like that. But yeah, this engine's running perfectly fine. It's piston water strong. It's a 2021 engine, so I shouldn't be having any issues with it, and I'm not seeing or finding any issues with it. So yeah,